Oh yeah, I don't know why my I really don't know why my computer is doing this. I feel like I had to go through some steps on YouTube to actually get this to work. I don't think it had anything to do with any software or anything because I didn't download any software at all. I just basically was able to live stream this time, and I don't know if I did some thing to my channel, like just went through some monetization processes, which I mean, it just doesn't make any sense that I wasn't able to live stream before and now I'm able to live stream. So yeah, if anybody like wants to live stream, like Logan Blake, if you end up seeing this and you want us to live stream, I try to contact you on Twitter. But um yeah, this I don't know, this is really weird. So I don't know if I can even like invite anybody into this. I mean, I'll try. Um Changes you made may not be saved. I don't know. Just so then I like copy this link and I don't know, I'll go to Twitter real quick and I'll try to send him this message. Well, I'll try to send Logan Blake the message, but I think I got it. Oh fuck Twitter, man. I think his name's Vegan Swag. Um Here is another link, buddy. Um oh yeah, there's a link. I am trying to get this live stream thing. Live stream, that's not how you spell live stream. Live stream thing working for whomever. So yeah, whatever. I don't understand this whole live stream get a room get a room thing. But yeah, if it works, I don't know, that'd be pretty cool. See if Logan Blake said anything recently. Um He's about to host a debate on his channel. Whatever. Um so yeah, I guess he didn't tweet anything. But yeah, I don't know if anybody else wants to try to do a live room. Um, I guess here's the link. So I think you click on that link. I mean, I don't know how this would work exactly. Maybe you click on the link and then I don't know. Like click on the link and then you do a live stream and then you paste that link somewhere. I think that's what would happen. But then again, I am not too sure. And then when like I try to go into the link on Draft Science, well, I didn't try to do it on my laptop, which was probably a problem. But when I tried to go into the link, and I don't think he's gonna post links anymore, but when I would try to go into the link on there on my cell phone, it definitely wouldn't work. So I definitely don't think my cell phone is going to work for getting a room. But I think it would be cool. I've never done it before. Um, so this was mainly for Logan Blake because Logan Blake said he'd debate me or whatever. But whatever. So if that works out, cool. I don't know. I'm watching a lot of this physics stuff. Like I watched the Dissident Science interview with this guy talking about paleogravity and how the Earth used to be smaller, and it was pretty cool because Draft Science was actually asking some questions in the chat room. Nobody else was asking any questions for like the first 30 minutes, and then Draft Science was asking questions about the gravitational, well, whatever, how like paleogravity or whatever, and um, yeah, how like the dinosaurs. Basically, this guy that Dissident Science was interviewing was saying that dinosaurs used to be much, much, much bigger because the gravity was much, much, much lower. Like the gravity was more equivalent to like what it's like on the moon than the Earth. So they're saying like the Earth used to be the size of the moon. So yeah, it sounds pretty fucking uh conspiracy esque, and but it was cool to watch. Um, like Draft Science asked the questions and everything. So yeah, there was that. But I mean, my only thoughts on it were, well, like if you look at the Grand Canyon, I mean, the Grand Canyon used to be a river, and then it just dried up, and so I don't know. I don't really know. I don't really have much to say on physics yet, but I mean, I like the I like the unification theory that Draft Science proposes, and now it's just like when I picked up on it, it was just Newton's inverse square law and then learning about it. So I mean, making those videos like overlapping um Draft Science's videos and everything with the pictures, that was pretty helpful for me just from my standpoint, but I don't think it's really right to just continually do those videos. Because it's like it's such a much more difficult topic to debate about or to know anything on, like physics, than antinatalism. Antinatalism is just really simple and sort of straightforward. You don't really need to know a lot. You just are basically, yeah, I mean, so yeah, I mean, I guess I'm anti-natalist for pretty clear reasons. I feel like I am terrible at relationships. I'm terrible at keeping a job and providing, and you know, I'm just fortunate that I'm able to live on my own and all that because my parents were able to help me out, and my country is somewhat sympathetic for people like myself who go in and out of psych wards, and um, I don't know, never get anything really accomplished in life. So I don't know if like a debate will work out, but I mean, at least I got a live stream going and was able to finally figure out how I could get a live stream going. So I just don't know. I just don't think it works on cell phones. That's my only thing. And I don't know why. I know it works on cell phones, but I don't know how. I mean, unless like Superhuman Dance and Logan Blake, like they have iPhones, like $900 iPhones. Like I have a $50 Android, so I don't think my Android has the type of like I don't think my Android is strong enough to be able to live stream um, on YouTube. So yeah, if you're in that situation, it's not going to work out. But if you have a laptop or a computer with a webcam, I mean, it should be able to work out. You should be able to get into a live stream. You should be able to get into a room or this room that way. Um, but again, it's really confusing. It's really I don't know. I don't really like it. I mean, I wasn't able. My computer wasn't even, like I said, allowing me to do a live stream on YouTube before today, and I just made like a little. I just made some changes on my channel, like saying I want to monetize my channel, and so it's weird. I don't know. Like I don't fucking get it. And I tried to send Logan Blake the link on his Twitter, but um yeah, I don't know. He hasn't been on Twitter in like 8 days, or hasn't said anything on Twitter. So, yeah, I mean, if this is how it works out, that's pretty cool. But I'll just say, if you click on that link, you should be able to get into that room. If you click on that link, I'm guessing. So whatever. But yeah, cause then I don't know. There's like the whole like the raw vegan thing and fasting and all that. But I mean, I can't fucking do that. I can't. I don't know. I can't make videos of me like fasting for 40 days, like let alone like 3 days. I mean, I could maybe, but I don't know. I don't really want to go back to that. So I'm just a cooked food addict, and yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, because it's kind of like, well, I don't want to lose my opportunity to be able to exercise, and I feel like I'm not going to be able to exercise if I'm just pumping my body with fruit juice all day. So that hasn't really been helpful. But I mean, it's still there. It's still on the back of my mind. Like, well, how am I going to treat myself if I get any sort of crippling disease? I mean, I'd probably rather treat myself the natural way and all that stuff. So, but then there's still the conversation. Well, what do I want to get? Like, not the right to die, but like special special forms you can fill out to be able to get them to not resuscitate you and all that shit. So I'm thinking that would lift a lot of uh crap from my mind. Like I'd just be like, all right, well, I just go out and say, well, if I die today, I'm going to die. They won't be able to resuscitate me or anything like that. So I don't know, but I don't. Then again, I don't know. Would they give me like a card or something? I mean, it's weird. So that's like a pretty weird antinatalist topic. So, and I just don't think anybody who doesn't want to consider being an antinatalist or something. I mean, you can talk about antinatalism for the next 10 years, and that's fine and all. But if you're constantly going against it, you're constantly saying, I'm still having the thought to have children or something. I mean, you're not really doing much. So, but if that's what people want to waste their time doing, I mean, that's what people have the right to do. So, yeah. But I mean, I probably would want to talk more about physics to someone um, on this channel, um, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, that might take longer. That might take way longer to do. So yeah, I don't know if uh if the right answer is to talk about this antinatalism, but I'll still do it. I'll still say like, well, it's possible that if you have a son, it could turn out like me. And I mean, I don't know. I'm the only one. I don't really relate to any of my friends from childhood or anything like that. I mean, so it's good to have the conversations like over the phone too. Um, but yeah, then again, it's probably not as so if I like leave my number and somebody calls me like people have done in the past, I mean it's just not there's just not a whole lot to that. At least from like a productivity standpoint, a productive standpoint, because then it's like, well, you missed out on an opportunity to be able to like um have this room thing and allow other viewers to watch something. So I think it'd just be more interactive to have the rooms. So we could somehow get these rooms going, that would be more productive. So because I'm not good at making videos. You know, I can't. I'm not like creative, or I'm not good at graphic designing or whatever. I'm not really good at that, and yeah. But I mean, I was thinking about doing some more activism stuff, uh, like actually going on hunger strikes, and then like talking to people. Like, but I just don't want to get arrested. I mean, I really don't want to get arrested. I really don't want to get, thrown in jail or whatever. So that's pretty dangerous too. So I might just maybe do the hunger strike in my own place or whatever. And yeah. Um, so and then there's always like fasting too. So um, yeah, maybe like fast like twice a week or something, or once a week, like every Monday. I've heard like every Monday and Tuesday, or every Monday. So there's always that. There's always that. I mean, it's just good to you know keep that in moderation too, I guess, because then it makes it more. It makes it more like it's activist and not so much for your health, because I'm pretty well understood lately that this whole conservation of energy thing, what they call in physics, you can kind of relate that to the human race, where a lot of people are dying of cancer now. I mean, it's obvious that a lot of people are getting really big and need to maybe go vegan and stuff like that, but then it's even more um, critical that people see cancer and how it's really, or autism or whatever it is, and those types of things are really affecting us too. Um, so yeah, there's just such a diversity between the left and the right, and deciding what's the best route to go. Um, so fasting for once a week, like every Monday or something, just might be a good way to sort of bring up the topic of, like, yeah, we're eating too much and the food we're eating is shit, and we want like better opportunity to. Because I was thinking about it, like the last time I drank alcohol, I didn't eat for 3 days, and because I was basically saying like, well, I had a paycheck coming in from like the last job I had, and I wasn't, I wanted to pay my like the next 3 months worth of rent or something. So I said, I'm not gonna eat until my EBT renews. And I had one beer after a meal, so I didn't eat for 3 days. I ate on the fourth day, and then I drank a beer, and like 10 minutes after drinking that beer, I threw up, and it just kind of made me think, well, there's so many people starving in Africa. Like, what the last thing they need is alcohol. If alcohol is really that bad for you, like if you're so malnourished and you drink or you eat a meal and then that's what alcohol does to you. I mean, yeah, alcohol is the worst fucking substance known to man. I mean, I've heard that you can inject alcohol into you, like into a vein, like intravenously, as if you would shoot heroin, and you fucking die right away. Um, so yeah, I mean, alcohol is fucking stupid. It's just, so it's another one of those things. But then it's like, okay, the whole it's and then it kind of comes full circle with like the whole marijuana thing. And um is marijuana good or bad for you? Like, marijuana fucks me up. It didn't really fuck me up that bad the last time. Like, I made like a 15-second video of it and said like I got high and got schizophrenia and everything. I mean, I just can't smoke it because it's completely illegal, and if I go to jail, I lose my income. That's pretty much it. So I can't do it. But yeah, I mean, I just don't want to do it. I just don't care enough. I mean, I care more about um my shelter than I do my I don't know, my level of stress. Like, I mean, I guess I smoked marijuana consistently for a year and it just never did anything for me. But yeah, and then yeah, the whole, eating fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, I just can't really get on that boat just yet. So yeah, why not just, fast once a week? I don't know. Every Monday. So because I was about to make a video last night on like I can't go raw vegan, and I was also going to make a video on I can't learn physics. But on the raw vegan thing, I was like, I just like before I went to the hospital, I was fucking eating vegan ice cream like 2 or 3 times a week. So yeah, that sucks. And then so I don't know. But yeah, just to bring more, I guess um ideas to the surface about, what we're eating and all that stuff. So, I mean, can we eat less and healthier food? I don't know. Is that the only way? Probably because I don't see, McDonald's or any of these fast food restaurants like shutting down anytime soon. So yeah, there's all that, but hopefully I'll be able to get on debate. Hopefully I'll be able to debate with because then another thing about these rooms, like you actually have um I wouldn't call them trolls, but they're like sort of like advertisements. So like if somebody's in the chat room, so I don't know, like there's supposed to be one viewer right now, and if somebody can be, I'm just saying like this YouTube thing is really fucked up. It doesn't seem like everybody's actually real. Like it says there's one viewer, but they may or may not be real. Um, I mean the viewer's probably real right now, but I'm just saying people will come into my chat and say something, and then like when I watch the video over again, you can't see what they wrote because they're not real people. They're just like bots, like robots or something. So that's kind of weird. Um, it just seems like YouTube is very overran by a certain like just certain programs that are trying to like censor any sort of conversation. Um, so yeah, it's kind of all bullshit, but whatever. I will try to work out these live streams and see if anybody wants to participate, anything like that. So yeah, um, hopefully I am able to have a debate with personal trainer and Thunder Bay personal trainer on antinatalism because that would be cool. I've never done that before. And then the whole thing with like giving out my number that hasn't really worked out for me in the past. Well, not that it hasn't, but I just think it'd be more productive if well just this would be more productive. Like somebody could click on the link and then we could live stream that way. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything I really wanted to talk about. The physics is still really hard for me to understand just because I don't really know that much. I never really had like a huge interest. I guess what I wanted to like ask was like, well, how would I get more interested or motivated to learn the physics? How would I? Because I'll go through like because I felt like oh, I really have something to put on the table when it comes to physics. Um, and then at other times I'm just like, oh, I'm so fucking depressed, and this makes it more depressing and all that stuff. Um, so yeah, there's like that's my dilemma that I'm dealing with right now. Because I just don't find much interest in, health is everything right now. Health should be my life. Because I don't think that's fair to everybody else in the world, and never, much less, is that really a good, I don't know, is that like a good way to sell myself? I don't really think so. Um, if I do have to sell myself, if I have to sell myself and I don't want to make money, well, I don't really, want to participate in all that. But yeah, I mean, not eating for whatever 52 times a year or 104 times a year, I mean, that might be a little bit more productive. I mean, for my digestive system. I mean, I had these enzymes that are supposed to help your digestion, and like ever since I had those, I just became constipated. I had them when I came out of the hospital, and I went before I went into the hospital, I got really constipated from this lithium. Hey, how you doing? Hope you're real, not a robot. But yeah, I had so whatever I mean, so I'm just saying like the vitamins, like the enzymes that are supposed to help your digestion made me just as constipated as the lithium, the medication that I was taking. And that fucked me up. And then I have to see my doctor, 1 to 2 times a month. Um, what does that mean? I'm poorly. I'm not poorly. You poorly? What does that mean? Um, you poorly. No, I'm good. But yeah. I don't know. I'm just trying to debate this guy on antinatalism. You know what antinatalism is, Cheryl? But um, oh yeah, no, I see my doctor like 1 to 2 times a week because I'm in this program for mental health. And the only reason I have income is because of my mental health, because I've basically spent like almost a year um, in rehabs or institutions that were all for mental health or drug addiction. And like almost 3 years ago, I was signed up for this program for for Social Security and everything. And yeah, it just so happens that I'm in this program now, which costs $10 a month, that is helping me to keep that income because you have to go to doctor's appointments and you have to stay up to date to that. But they're thinking they're they're thinking I'm almost like imposing it on them, but they're thinking and saying to me that, well, it's unfair that you're not taking medication. You think you got this and everything. Well, like, yeah, I mean, I have chronic suicidal thoughts and everything like that, but I don't want to risk my physical health to help my mental health. I mean, my mental health is fine. I'm just, I get anxious when I'm walking down like the highway and everything, and I think I'm gonna get hit by a car. No, I didn't meet any famous. Yeah, sorry for hearing that, Tyler. What was rehab like? Did you meet? I mean, you don't have to be sorry. Like, I mean, it is what it is. It's mostly just PTSD from childhood. Like, I wasn't in the military or anything, but it's mostly just PTSD because after that PTSD episode when I was 17, like that really changed my life. That really changed the way I talk to people. It really changed my self-esteem. I had way lower self-esteem, and I just um it was different after that. What was rehab like? Did you meet famous people? I mean, rehab was. I mean, I didn't meet any famous people. I mean, I don't think you really go to rehab to meet famous people, but I mean, I got to like travel a lot. I mean, most of the stuff was covered under my insurance, and I'm fortunate because I'm under my dad's insurance, and it was sort of an experience, but I mean, you meet a lot of like people that were heavily addicted to heroin, which I wasn't, and heavily addicted to alcohol or whatever it is. I mean, everybody's smoking cigarettes. Like, people are. I mean, and then you get on the medication, and you think like, well, I'm never going to be able to get off this shit, and you just. I mean, there wasn't any like physical. I didn't get into any physical altercations, and it was like pretty productive. But you just don't see them really as like long. I didn't see them as long term friends after a while because I just said, well, we knew each other. We knew each other for such a short while, and like people will move on in their different ways. And I did take a lot of like verbal, shit from people, and I didn't really much like that. But did you beat the fuck out of you? Did people beat the fuck out of you? No, somebody beat the fuck out of my friend, and my friend's in a coma, and he's been in a coma for 10 years, and yeah, and they didn't hold me back while they were beating the fuck out of him. It was more or less like an accident, and the guys like got like 2 to 2.5 years, um, for like a malicious beating that just ended up in a coma. So that's why it's like fucked up. But I mean, that's really fucked with me. And I've had to go to court 3 times to talk about it and to be like the witness, to be a witness and everything. So, and then yeah, they're like I live like an hour away from my hometown, and that fucked with me in like my hometown. So yeah, but I was never the same after that shit. Like, um, so yeah, nobody beat the fuck out of me. I mean, I got punched, and then I saw my friend, like convulsing and foaming at the mouth and being held up, and everybody who had basically done that, like, because we got jumped, everybody who jumped us, like, was basically running away. And out of the 3 people or out of the 2 other people that I was with, like I barely had a scratch on me, and the other two people got like one was in a coma, and the other guy was just like I think he got really fucked up. But so yeah, I don't know if that gives me like a lot of depression too because I missed like half of after that happened. Like I didn't miss any days. Like it was my senior year of high school, but then like when I came back from winter break, I missed like half of the year. Like so I missed like half of the next 2 semesters, like just from not going to school or going into school late or skipping days. So I mean, yeah, it did make me really depressed. And I was thinking like last night, well, I should have just quit football like right after that happened because football, I should have just never played football. But if I mean if I could go back a little bit, I would say like yeah, after I came back from WVU and witnessed that shit, like yeah, I should have just quit football and said like yeah, I gotta fucking figure shit out because I just fucked my life up. But my life was already fucked up because it happened. So is your friend still in a coma? I pray to God for your friend and you. Amen. Have you ever took drugs? Yeah, I've taken a lot. Yeah, I mean, thank you, but yeah, I've never. I mean, I've taken a lot of drugs, and I took a lot of drugs after this happened, just to run away. So it's like I have the PTSD, and I think, like I'm scared for my sister right now because I think she has a little bit of PTSD. And it just seems like once you take drugs, you just really fucking lose yourself. So I mean, drugs like with certain conditions where you have trauma, I mean, it's been really serious for me. Like I can't take any drugs by any means, and it's mostly just because of the huge amount of paranoia that I get from people who do drugs or alcohol. It's just, well, I think that I'm going to end up in jail, um, or just fuck my life up. And then I also get really fucked up or turned around the axle because I think that I get really drowsy and I get really sleepy, and then I miss a lot of sleep from time to time, and then I get behind my car and drive around and everything, and that kind of messes me up. So this is one of the ways that I'm able to get out of my depression or the thoughts in my head or the voices that I hear or just the depression mostly. So yeah, like, um, but no, I appreciate you talking and everything. It's just I don't like I don't really like you know I don't like people for a lot of reasons, but most of the reasons I don't like people is because I mean if they can't figure out that the amount of violence, the extreme amount of violence that we do to animals, and how are they ever going to figure out the that violence is preventable? Violence is only preventable from the bottom up, from the bottom up. I mean, it like stopping violence is a bottom up solution. So if we have so much violence in our country when it comes to like not just the population but of the animals that we slaughter for food, then and we can't stop that, then how could we ever stop the violence among our population? I'm just saying it's a bottom up solution. Like stopping violence or stopping war, it has to be a bottom up solution. I mean, we can't get everybody on board to stop the war until we stop slaughtering the animals in our country. I wouldn't really say that's an opinion. I would just say it's more of a fact because um, if nonviolence were to evolve, then we're not going to do it on our own. The people like the vegans or the vegetarians, I mean, but vegetarians sort of just have uh like a distrust, or like they don't like the texture of meat. It's like they don't really care about the animals welfare, they just care about what they're putting into their mouth, and it doesn't taste good. um so yeah, I have an extreme problem with people because of that reason, because they think that the wars need to end and everything, but again, it has to be just a bottom up solution. There's too many animals' lives, being like having their heads, like their necks cut open, their throats cut open. I mean, these animals are conscious for the most part. I mean, when it happens, and if not, it's still fucked up because we're still using the animals for food. So I just don't think that um, the wars will be able to stop, or any violence will be able to stop, like in our countries, before we stop the violence towards the animals. So Um, yeah, and then drugs and alcohol get thrown into that. Like, I mean, if you're smoking marijuana or you're doing drugs, you're gonna have a hard time coming to that realization. You're mostly just gonna say like, oh well, I need to juice fast or I need to eat fruits and vegetables because I'm gonna get cancer and I need to prevent cancer. But you're not like considering anything that's happening or going on in the world with that, in my opinion, doing like the whole vegan for health thing. Like, but if you or trying to be happy, trying to be healthy, happy, healthy vegan. But if you want to be like, I guess, a real more like authentic vegan, then yeah, I mean, it would suck not to say to people like, hey, like all these animals are dying and all this violence is going on in the world, but like you think it's wrong that we have nuclear power plants, or you think it's wrong that we're going to war with um Al Qaeda or whatever. But I mean, that's really not the case. I mean, the case is that we are fucking extremely violent. I mean, we're extremely just malicious to the cows, the pigs, the chickens. And then we don't care that we're driving around killing cats on the road. We don't care that we're killing deer. We don't care that we're, killing rodents. So if you don't care about those things, you're not paying close attention to those things. You're not really decreasing blood, your blood, your blood footprint. Like it's not about your carbon footprint. It's about your blood footprint. That's what Draft Science talks about, on his other channel. So yeah, I mean, yeah, but drugs, I hate drugs. I mean, I take like what I'll take now, what I'll take today is just nicotine and caffeine. Like I'll smoke cigarettes. I'd prefer to vape, but then I'll drink coffee. Um, so yeah, and that's pretty much as far as I'll go. Uh, I don't think like our bodies I don't think our bodies are ready for these supplements, like these GNC supplements or these vitamins and all this stuff. I don't think this stuff has been around long enough. And that's all I really have to say to that. Like I'll take my cigarettes or my vaping or my coffee and I'll stick to that. Like no thank you to the other stuff because that stuff is really just um it just hasn't really done like what I've wanted it to do. It didn't do for me. Like I honestly feel like I could take a laxative and it wouldn't do anything for me. Um, just because it's one of these things that hasn't been around a long time. Like tobacco has been around a long time. Coffee has been around a long time. I'll stick to that. And it's only been around for say like 1,000 years, but I mean these supplements and all this stuff are just money makers. I mean, these people, these really healthy people on YouTube will sell this stuff. I mean, this stuff, I don't need this stuff. These vitamins and supplements and uh, herbs and all this stuff. Like I've been there. I don't really need any of that shit. And for the people that are taking them, I just don't think that it's been around long enough. And that's sort of more, of a, like, to me, a considerability than well, yeah, like it's all good and who cares? I just don't want to eat any eggs. I just don't want to eat any ham. I just don't want to eat any beef. And that's where I go wrong. That's where people are like, well, you're fucked up, you're crazy, you should be in a mental institution. Um, so yeah. I don't know. So yeah, and then my doctor was talking about like the suicidation and all this stuff, the suicidal ideations or the suicidal thoughts. I mean, I don't know why I have all that stuff, but I mean, I know I'm not the only person. I mean, I just feel like if I'm thinking that stuff, then other people in the world are doing it. And that's fucked up. And that's sort of like why I'm an antinatalist. Um, because I don't, I don't want to consider myself somebody like, um, I guess above the influence. Because I know a lot of people are influenced to commit suicide or, you know, like ruin their lives with drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. And I don't think there's any reason to think that it's going to continue, that it's not going to continue happening. And then the one factor that would change that is if we stop the violence ourselves. But you can't stop the violence with the wars, um, and all that stuff really unless you care about the animals. I just don't think there's any other. I just don't think there's any other way around that. I mean, especially if you believe in evolution, and whether or not you don't believe in evolution. I mean, I just don't like the idea of forgiving these people for what they're doing. Like I can forgive, I guess the American sniper for protecting our country and everything, but I can't. But that's only because he's sort of ignorant, or he or she in the war, they're just ignorant to what's actually going on, like in our country and everything, with like how much violence we impose on animals or creatures or whatever. So it just sucks that we have to live in these conditions. It sucks that we have to even be alive to see how much horrible shit goes on. And so then the other thing is like, well, you might want to be really careful, watching me or listening to me or trying to get to know me, because um like I might fuck you up. Like what another thing that has been said is like, I I'll even write this down too. What let me try to think of it. It's not what it's something like I like you can't really do anything to me, but I can really mess with your head. Yeah, so um you can't really say anything to me that will mess me up, but I can say say some say something to you that will really fuck you up. And that's sort of like what can go on in this like YouTube experience. So, and I found it to be very true. Um but I am a little bit more um pleased with how I've turned out just since creating this channel, for instance. And I created this channel because I was getting into draft science, draft science, and his other channels and stuff. And that was post, I don't know, trying to do bodybuilding and all this stuff, and that was post trying to be a raw vegan. Um, so I don't know what's like next for me. I don't know where I'm gonna really go to next. I know that um, I don't know. I'll probably just honestly try to do more activism. Even if it's just by starting like fasting on Mondays or fasting Monday and Tuesday, but probably most likely just fasting Mondays. Just and then just doing these live streams or whatever. And then I don't think I'll do any interviews or anything like that on the streets, just because again, I don't really want to go to jail. I don't really want to have to like I think Durian Ryder's right when he actually says like this is the best way to protest, not protest, but like do activism is through these YouTube videos. Because you can get in trouble any other way. Like if I go sit outside the White House and protest for animal rights, then I'm definitely going to get in trouble, or I'm at least going to be told by CIA people to move. So the same thing can happen in my town. Like if I go to the library, police, and if I go to the downtown library and just sit outside or something, police can tell me to move. So yeah, I mean, I think it's more critical that we just like make videos, and I would just encourage people to like make videos and be more interactive that way. So when you go to somebody's channel, you can say like, "Hey, look, like, come watch my videos" or something like that. Because there's a lot of I'd rather talk to more of the small channels. I mean, I can't watch like channels that are getting like a million views or something like that. I mean, I can, but I'm not going to stick around and try to have conversations with people in the comments or even read the comments, because it just gets to the point where it's like this is atrocious. Like I don't know any of these people. I hate all these people, and that's what happens with me. But yeah, I mean, I just wouldn't be. I mean, for me, like I remember, I can fuck you up and make you think differently, and you can't really do or say anything to me that'll make me change my mind. But that's just been the evolution of what's happened to me with the channels that I watch. Um, like in my like videos and stuff. Like I just have been more reclusive and more apt to saying that yes, I really hate people. I really hate people. And if only 1% of the population is actually vegan or actually cares about animal rights, then yes, we're fucked. And I want to actually do something about that. I would rather die for that cause and die for some other cause, like getting a retirement plan or something. Like I don't know what's going to happen to me. I don't know if I'm going to get a stroke or something's gonna happen with my brain where my brain's gonna stop working if I'm not, active. If I'm not physically active and I don't watch that, then maybe my brain will suffer. But I mean, I like working out a little bit. I don't like, I like, doing pull ups and going to the gym a little bit, like going to the sauna. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna keep doing that as for a while I can. But yeah, I mean, I am disabled. I did go. I've spent over a year hospitalized, and I'll just say I think I at least deserve that. Just like the veterans on disability can say, well, I served my country. I think I at least deserve my income. So I mean, that's just where I'm coming from with that. So vegan edge. Durian Rider says YouTube is the best way to advocate veganism. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, it is true. And that's why he's legit. Um, do I wish I made like $1 million or however much he makes? I mean, he has like a real platform now where he can, earn money or make a living. I mean, Durian Rider, like people know Durian Rider. Like I used to live in Virginia Beach last year or 2 years ago, and they were talking about Durian Rider, like in a vegan restaurant. And then I asked those employees like if they knew who Freely the Banana Girl was, and they didn't even know who Freely the Banana Girl was. I'm just a little bit regretful because like I took his advice to get into the Hodge twins, and then when I did that like earlier this year, I started eating meat and stuff. But I guess I've just been so depressed. Like sometimes I'll just take anybody's advice, but then it just goes back to, well, people can really fuck with me and influence me to do things and stuff. So because it's inspiring, it's so attractive. Yeah, well, it's just the whole thing with like you can't really like what Joey Carbstrong and Earthling Ed and all those people do. Like I don't really think that's right, and I don't think people get much out of that. I just think we should just let these crazy people be, and like forgive me if you have to live with these people or whatever. Like, excuse me if you have to live with these people. Like, you have to live with your parents that eat meat, or you have to live with a friend. I mean, I just fucking hate people so much that do this, that aren't vegan or whatever. And then when I am doing it myself, like I've done it, I've eaten meat, like you know what I mean. But it's just like if for me, it's like day to day. It's like a journey. It's almost like the alcohol journey where you're trying to stay away from alcohol and you're counting how many days you have alcohol free or how many days you're free from heroin. I mean, and I've been through both of those, so it's kind of like that for me. Just staying away from drugs, alcohol. I mean, eventually, I do want to quit cigarettes and vaping and stuff. But I don't know how long that'll take. But yeah, it's just sort of like one of those conversations. It's not really like um out to people out there, like it's not really, that's really not what's going on to me. Like to me, what's going on is how crazy it is that we're actually slaughtering these animals every day and causing so much pain to other animals on the streets, and we just don't care. We don't have like, I mean, people really don't care about anything in the world. They don't care about how we're leaving the planet. They don't care about the next 7 generations. They care about the next 2 generations or the next three, maybe. And that's what's like fucked up to me about it. And I don't want to. I don't want to live or impose life or get a girl pregnant just for those reasons, basically. And then also, not to mention, I'm extremely fucked up myself, and I don't think I'd be ready for that stuff. So I just myself don't want to get fooled by these other vegans out there that are saying like, yeah, if you go vegan, you can change your whole life, because virtually we haven't really changed much. I mean, I even heard Earthling Ed say one time that since 2013 or something like this, the statistic was like there's been like on average there's been on average less than uh there's been on average less than 400 million animals slaughtered per year. And I know in one of those documentaries, maybe it was Earthlings, but they say that there's like 500 billion animals. So if out of 500 billion animals that have been slaughtered since that are continually slaughtered since like the slaughterhouse revolution, and then going vegan, or all these vegan YouTubes, like all these vegan YouTubers like Durian Rider and everything, they've only shifted that like by 400 million. Like, so I don't know if you are following me, but to me that's just like really fucked up. Like we can't really do anything. We just have to live amongst these this atrocity and this murder. So, I mean, that's what it is to me. I mean, it's murder. I don't want to live with a fucking animal just because it'll remind me like animals are really nice creatures. Animals, like a dog or a cat is like a really good creature. Like I don't want to have to be reminded by like a reptile that or like a butterfly that this animal is a beautiful creature and it was created by God and all that shit. Like bullshit. I don't want to be reminded by that stuff. I would rather just actually live it. I'd rather actually like know that this planet is way more fucked up than it's made out to be. Like this planet is still almost like prehistoric. Like we're almost like that fucking bad. And that needs to be like critically analyzed. And if it's like somebody like Logan Blake wants to, talk about this, I mean, we're never going to get to that topic because people just block that out, and they'll close their eyes and just say like, no, it's okay. Like I'm vegan. I ride my bike. I sterilize my dogs. I sterilize my balls. Like I'm not having any babies. Like it's okay. Like I don't want to be reminded. It's just an ephilism thing, which is another thing that draft science came up with. I mean, it's ephilism. Like I prefer ephilism than I do antinatalism, but unfortunately, everybody comes to my channel for the antinatalism, and that's fucked up. But whatever. Um, Protesting in front of a slaughterhouse is not inspiring, and from the outside is repulsive. I mean, it's okay. I mean, I'm sure, like, because I'm sure, like, Earthling Ed and Joey Carbstrong. I'm sure they're like getting a lot of people to go vegan. I just wouldn't do it myself because it's like who look who you're fucking talking to. I mean, it's like going outside in front of a prison. Like imagine going outside of a jail or a prison and saying legalize weed, legalize weed. Like if you live in a country, I mean, marijuana may never be legal, like federally, like the FDA. Or the DEA, like the Food and Drug Administration, or the Drug Enforcement Agency may never come together and say like legalize weed and sell weed at your local 7-Eleven. That may never happen just because of the circumstance that we're in. The like tobacco used to be like 10 cents a pack and now it's $6 a pack. So they might just have to, something will happen, but I'm just saying marijuana may never be federally legal. It may never be fully legal. It can be legalized, but it'll never be fully legal. But I'm just saying, going in front of a jail in Virginia, or even DC or anywhere like California, and saying like the federal government should legalize weed. These people can't be, thrown in jail just because. I mean, it's sort of like that. I mean, you're telling somebody, you know, because to even make these fucking vegan, like to me, even make these meat eaters vegetarian, like is a big task in itself. Because at first you kind of want to say like, oh, it's disgusting. Like I don't want to be eating a fucking animal. I don't want to be eating a dead animal, a carcass, like this bloody piece of fucking flab. I don't want to be eating this shit. And then you eventually say like, well, all of these fucking animals are being killed. Like this is totally fucked up. The cheese is full of fucking pus and blood and bacteria or whatever. It's just all so fucking disgusting. I mean, I fucking hate this. I don't want anything. I never want to go to McDonald's again. I mean, you eventually get to that point. And then you could add different things into your diet that make it seem healthier or whatever. But I think that's sort of like the evolution. I mean, to even get these people to like, I mean, if they're even thinking about veganism, that's good. But I mean, some people just don't even care. Some people, like people who have killed other people, or people who have, I mean, even people like even somebody who has like killed another human being can say like, well, maybe this isn't healthy. Like maybe I should, like because there's mad cow disease or anything like that. Any sort of conspiracy that would make them think that it's just. I mean, but heart disease is real. Heart disease kills more people than anybody in America, I would say. And there's all these considerations that we don't take, and we just say, well, fuck it, like, I'm just gonna have a pizza or whatever. So, and I've done that, I've done that a lot, but it's just really fucked up. Because it's like from day to day, like it just seems like people just seem to care less and less. And but yeah, it's that whole thing like, well, I'm going to stand outside of a jail and tell a bunch of police officers, not to throw them in jail because they're fucking smoking marijuana. Like that's like to me standing outside of a slaughterhouse and saying stop slaughtering these animals. I mean, obviously those people have been doing it all their fucking lives. They just take lives, take lives, take lives. They don't fucking care. So I mean, just look at them as like the slave owners. Like we have to go to war against those people. I mean, they are claiming that the cows, chickens, pigs, and then all these other animals that are used for jackets, like shoes, leather, all that stuff. Like they're claiming that these animals are property. I just got off a farm because I went there for a job interview, and yeah, they just use these fucking animals as property. Farmers fucking suck. Like fuck these farmers, because they just use animals as property. I mean, yeah, they're good at growing fruits and vegetables and all that stuff. And honestly, if you have a child, it's not the best idea to just enforce um this sort of knowledge on. It's just really not. Like you can't really change. It's just not really fair to like a child to say all this stuff to them. I mean, it's right to say like, yeah, animals are being killed. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that needs to be changed too. Maybe that's outdated thinking. Like maybe outdated thinking is like, yeah, animals are fucking dying. Or it's okay to fish and all this stuff. Like so I see that as like a little bit outdated how, if you're really saying you're a vegan and everything. But go whole food vegan so you can keep your good looks into middle age, not because you will change the world. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but then again, it's like I don't man, I have an income and like a government income and yeah, I just, I don't I mean, I definitely want to be healthy too and I want to go whole food, but I mean, I can't afford the place I'm living in right now. Like I got a kitchen, I got like um a bathroom, wait, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom. Like I can't even afford this place. So I'm gonna like I was able to afford it when I was working, but then I just couldn't work with these freaking people. And yeah, so now I'm leaving this place soon enough. And just hopefully staying out of treatment because I really don't want to go back to treatment. But hopefully, yeah, I mean, I don't really care about my health that much. I care about my health enough to where, hey, I'm eating pasta and salad dressing and soy sauce or whatever, but I'm not like totally all in when it comes to the tomatoes, using tomatoes instead of like tomato sauce from the store. But I do want to change that. Like, yeah, I mean, I want to be like um creating my sauce. I think creating like my pasta sauce would probably be next. Like having pasta with tomato sauce would probably be the next step, and then I'll just use rice with the soy sauce and maybe have like my white potatoes plain instead of the ketchup or use them with tomato sauce. I don't really like nutritional yeast as like a cheese substitute. Um, but then yeah, just I mean, it hasn't been sunny recently. I haven't like it was sunny a little bit, and then so I really love eating fruit like when it's sunny and um all that stuff. Like if I lived in San Diego or Arizona or something, like I'd probably want to eat fruit every day. But I really don't find fruit all that appealing when it's like a little bit like when it's in the 60s and um, there's not that much sun or whatever. And it sucks that like there's only like 1 month of summer in Virginia. Like but then if you move to Florida, you got to worry about like thunderstorms every day and hurricanes and all that stuff. And then if you move to California, it's just I don't know. Like I don't know if my anxiety is going to prevent me from moving. Hopefully it doesn't, but yeah. So I don't know. But yeah, definitely something like that. Like just going whole food, plant based, and everything. And then whole food, plant based, and not using all of this like sauce and all this um shit like it's a really good idea, like the tomato sauces and all that stuff. um but yeah, I don't know, I'm probably gonna hop off. Maybe I'll be able to have like a debate, like a live debate or something, I don't know. But yeah, thank you for watching. And I will catch you next time. I'm probably just gonna go to the gym in a little bit. What time is it? 3 o'clock. Yeah, I might go to the gym. Um, and maybe look for some places to live. Um, so yeah, smoke some cigarettes, vape. I don't know, but I don't know. Yeah, some other stuff. But yeah, I'm having technical difficulties with doing anything these days. Like when it comes to making money or whatever. I mean, it just yeah. I mean, I just feel like I've just changed so much since um I don't know, just recently, past few months and stuff. Like I just can't go back. I've just gone to I've gotten to the point of like no return, and it's it's all right. I mean, I wouldn't want to be anybody else or anywhere else or anything like that. I mean, I'm okay. I just it just sucks. I mean, so again, I can uh probably try to be a little bit more productive and think about doing something like that, but it's really hard being on disability or disabled and uh balancing that with trying to work and telling people whether you're on disability or disabled. And I mean, that's something really hard to balance. And then I know it's all this bullshit disease and stuff like that. I mean, but it is, it is real for me. Like I notice my symptoms of whatever mental disorder and it's real to me. So I don't want to say it's completely non-existent. And I think if people understood mental illness a little bit more people could have a chance to be able to just come to some more truth, because that's really what it's coming down to. It's coming down to the truth. So yeah, I'm gonna head out and probably do another live stream. I don't know, maybe in a little bit, or just make a video. So, uh, but this was a success doing the live stream on my laptop. So hopefully, yes, again, we can have another uh, video like this. Okay, goodbye.